In this lesson, we're going to talk about the anxiety continuum. If you remember from previous modules, a continuum is a line of measurement with a beginning and an ending and points in between. At the beginning of the anxiety continuum, we have a typical level of anxiety. Typical anxiety is anxiety that all people experience at different points in time. Anxiety is typical when it matches the situation and when it's experienced in situations by most people. Moving further along the continuum, we have an elevated level of anxiety. An elevated level of anxiety is something that people experience at different points in time. An elevated level of anxiety is greater than the situation warrants, and it lasts for longer than the situation itself. Also, an elevated level of anxiety does not interfere with the overall ability to function, even though it may impact functioning in the specific situation or for a short while after the situation is over. At the far end of our anxiety continuum, we have anxiety that is at a level that is problematic. Problematic anxiety is anxiety that can be experienced by people at different points in time, but is not necessarily experienced by everybody. Problematic anxiety is anxiety that has symptoms of anxiety disorders. It's patterns of experience of these symptoms, and it's symptoms that have been present for longer than 2 weeks. Problematic anxiety symptoms interfere with a person's ability to function, meaning that it impacts a person's ability to do the things that they need to do as well as the things that they want to do. It's important to remember that everybody experiences anxiety as one of the human emotions that we all have. Symptoms of anxiety disorders can develop in different people, and it's important to remember that this does not mean that there is anything wrong with the person. It just means that they might need a little bit of help developing some different coping strategies to help them manage the anxiety that they are experiencing. People experience symptoms of anxiety at different points in time and during different situations that they may experience. Anxiety disorders and their symptoms are very common. And while they are very common and exist in a large portion of the population, it's really important to remember that just because you are experiencing anxiety does not mean that you will meet the symptom criteria for an anxiety disorder.